It's me, Sailor Moon, and it's me, Sailor Jupiter here. And today we're going to talk about, this one thing that I think it hasn't been taught, may have been talked about a lot, but all right. So, and this would go out, you know, this would go out, now. All right. So there are a lot of folks out there who, you know, I don't know. What we isn't talking about again? All right. I think what we're talking about here. How to word this right. All right. So, and it is nothing bad. All right. So today I'm going to talk about, you know, uh, was there any overlap between us and the Power Rangers? Now, the grounds to why I talked about this, because I have made a film many times where we have talked about the overlap between us and them. And there are many unlikenesses, but then there are also many things that are the same. Now, one of the two things that are the same is shifting, or shape shifting, or whatever you want to call it. That has been one of the two things that we that we have that are the same. Granted that now some folks are going to say that one is more faster than the other, but it's still shape shifting. And we also have monster of the week, or more like fiend of the week. I should have said, my mistake. Fiend of the week. And well, there is one big unlikeness between us and them is that once we did beat the fiend, that was it. The fiend was beaten. They didn't get brought back. They didn't get big. We didn't have to get a big tool and fight them and do that. So that was one big unlikeness between the two. You know, and a lot of folks are going to point out a lot of other things that are the same between us. And it's as if you're real and, you know, now there is Tuxedo Mask in me, and Tuxedo Mask helps me out for all the four followings, and halfway through the fifth following, if you're following Toby and Viz, and all the four followings if you follow through Deke and Pine, Deke and Cloverway. That's the same thing that the Green Ranger, later on the White Ranger, would actually do for the Pink Ranger at the time. Yeah, you're right about that, Sailor Moon. I think that was just something that, I think that was just, that was just something that I think happened. I don't really think there was I don't really know if anyone at Siobhan even knew what they knew about Sailor Moon. Maybe they did. I don't know. But it's not like that one day they saw Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask and said we have to have two main South Hoods at least for the first three followings. And either it could be green or it can be white, but he has to help the Pink Ranger out, like Tuxedo Max would help Sailor Moon out. I think that was just something that may have just been a coincidence. I don't really think. But then there are other things that are like the same, like, old Tuxedo Max, Darian, he gets brainwashed. Tommy, when he was first the Green Ranger, was being brain run at first and brain led, you know. So, and how about the likenesses between, Rita Repulsa and Queen Beryl? Well, since Rita is the daughter of Beryl and Queen Beryl is the mother of Rita Repulsa, yeah. And many likenesses between Zordon and Serenity fighting other foes and either casting them into other worlds or into stuff like that, or locking them, putting them in lockup, which you could see that kind of thing could be the same there too. Now, at the end of the day, some folks out there are going to say, how can there be likenesses between each other? Well, those are just the three things that I could get out there. There may have been other ones out there that made us, but the big one is that, is that the Power Rangers went on for having many followings between Siobhan and Disney and Siobhan and Hasbro. And Sailor Moon was stopped at about 5. Yes, I'm sure Toei could have kept on going even after the books were done, but I guess that was as long as Toei wanted to go it for. You know? And yes, it is true that Deke did get the rights to do Sailor Moon basing on how well the Power Rangers were doing during that time. And same thing later on with Cloverway and all that other stuff. Well, you're right about that, Sailor Jupiter. I mean, the Power Rangers and us have one more thing that makes us the same. We both shows were taken from Super Sentai or Over Team, which was going on in Japan and still going on in Dreamland to this Dawnland to this day. Started night between 75 YL, and Naoko Takiguchi was a big follower of that show, so she wanted to make a woman offshoot of it. And Han Siobhan had also saw it during a time there too, and also wanted to buy it, but it didn't happen. And what ended up coming out of it was the Power Rangers, or the Strength Keepers, came out of it. So offshooted from it. So in a way, both the Power Rangers and us both can trace our beginnings to that show, and that's one other thing that we both have the same. And one more thing, Toei both did our shows. Yeah, Toei did Over Team and still does it to this day. And Toei did our show, which they gave a deal to Deke and Cloverway for English work and Viz for English work. And Siobhan then took on, made Strength Keepers out of it, which it went from Siobhan to Disney to Siobhan and Hasbro. But at the end of the day, I think one of the big unlikenesses between us would be the tool fights. When the Fiend gets big and you have to fight them. You're right about that, Sailor Moon. That was probably the biggest likeness of us. And I guess one is a live show, and the other one's a live drawing show. That was another big thing. But I think at the end of the day, there are a lot of likeness. There are a lot of things that are the same, but a lot of things that are not the same. And I could be here making a long film, but I don't got all the time in the world because someone else has to make their film too. So that's about it. There are just some of the likenesses and unlikenesses between us and the Power Rangers, the Strength Keepers. If you like the film you saw, then watch our other film over here. Thank you. Yeah. Or Sailor Jupiter, you're right about that. Or you want to follow us over here, you can. I'm Sailor Moon. I'm Sailor Jupiter. Hope you like this film.